Welcome to Realationshitz, where we talk about real shit in relationships. I am your wife.
And I am your husband.
And today we are going to be discussing a couple of things.
If we get to them all. Depending on how deep we get into like certain conversations.
So one of the things we wanted to discuss today was who to vent to. So there's certain people in your life that you can vent about any and everything, and then there's certain people in your life that you cannot talk to about your relationship just because some people hold on to the information that you give them. So it's important to know who you can and can't vent to. So for example, if you're in a relationship and your partner pisses you off, say, oh, I wanted you to bring me flowers today, and you didn't bring me flowers, and you call your friend, and it's like, he don't bring me flowers. He never brought me flowers since 2018. I can't believe that I'm with this person. Depending on the person that you're venting to, two things can happen. They can either, A, give you advice, B, just be on your side and let you vent and be like, yes, girl, I understand. I can't believe that. And then, the next time you're in love and all happy, they'll be like, I'm so happy for you. Or you could have one of those friends that's like, but wasn't you just complaining the other day that he didn't buy you flowers and now you're all in love again?
Yeah, that's exactly the ones you got to avoid. Now, when it comes to the bros, it might be different because bro code, that's all you know. Don't repeat, even amongst the bros. But it depends. If it's with the bros, yeah. If it's separately of the bros, other bros don't even know just yet. But even still. Or you can have a group of friends and figure out who to vent to about what. One friend might be a single friend you can vent to about certain things. Other one might be a married friend to vent to about certain things. Or vice versa in terms of you being single and need a vent to whatever it takes. Maybe you may need a certain type of friend or that friend having a certain lifestyle to vent to.
This also goes for your family as well.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship and you want your family to like your partner, don't tell your family every little thing that they do wrong or that they do to upset you. Because your family, 9 out of 10, is going to be on your side.
To a fault.
And if you tell them all the bad things, they are not going to want you with that person. Mm-mm. So it's better to not tell them every single thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Tell your family if it's something big and you need advice. That's fine. But telling them like, yeah, I asked him to, I don't know, something stupid. I asked him to put my laptop on the charger, and he didn't. I asked him that twice. And they'd be like, I can't believe that. I asked him to fill up my car. And you know what he did? He only filled it up halfway. How dare he?
He must be a lazy bum.
And that's the impression that your family is going to have. And if you want to build a life with this person and you want your family to love them, you cannot tell them every little thing because they are going to have a very bad taste in their mouth. And not only are they going to talk negatively about that person to you, whenever they're not around, whenever they are around, they're just going to avoid them. They're going to not want to do things with them, not want to invite them to things because in their eyes, they're such a bad person for you, and they're going to be wondering why you're staying.
She made such a good impression on my family that my family hated me and loved her.
They didn't hate you.
Well, they was on her side, never to come back to me because of me being stupid. I think I broke up with you on Christmas.
It wasn't Christmas
Eve.
I don't know what it was.
It was definitely a holiday. It was definitely Christmas Eve.
It was something, but I remember that day.
Yeah.
And then you go lie and be like, she didn't want to come.
To protect you.
No, to protect yourself.
To protect myself.
Because you broke up with me. We was going to your sister's house. And I loved food. And it was cooking. And immediately, apparently, when he got there, they were like, where is she? And he was like, oh, she didn't want to come. And his sister called me and was like, hey, why are you not here? And I told her what happened.
Some of this food.
I told her what happened. And his mama talked to me, his sister talked to me, and they were like, he does not deserve you. I cannot believe he did that.
My own family said I wasn't shit. Talk about family having your back. Didn't even know the situation.
I told them the situation. They knew the situation.
You only heard one side of the story and then
Whatever.
decided to just take her side.
But
telling her
I don't know
never
if
come
it
back
was
to
his
me.
idea or if it was his family idea. But he brought me some food.
It was definitely my idea.
And
all jokes aside.
I didn't let him come in the house. We went to sit, at a park?
We sat in the car.
Well, he brought me some food. I ate the food. He apologized. And he was not allowed in the house that day.
If I'm not mistaken, he was cleaning the car that day, right?
Yeah, I was cleaning my car.
Yeah. So we sat in the car. And
That's some good food.
I don't remember what they had, but
I don't know, but it was good. But that's an instance of, like, not saying I tried to make a good impression, but I believe in being myself around people, whether it be a job, whether it be friends, whether it be family. Because I don't want to build up this, like, fake persona that every time I'm around certain people, I have to keep it up. I don't have the energy for that. If you don't like me for me, then we're not supposed to be around each other. That's fine. I don't care. But like with his family, they were just so genuinely loving and kind when I first met them. And it was just so refreshing. And like to this day, if I don't go to an event, like they will call me and be like, why didn't you come? Or they'll ask him and he'll be like, they asked about you.
And now it's to the point where if we go, they want to know where the mother-in-law is.
Yes,
now
my mom.
You like, hey, you came to one event, now you got to keep coming back because I know you had a good time last time you came.
And that's the great thing about certain families. Like, I know if I were to call his sister and be like, hey, I need to talk. Like, I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. She's not going to turn her back on me. She's not going to turn her back on him. She's going to talk to him and have a serious conversation because that's what they did last time, which we don't have a lot of issues that we have to, bring family into. But I know that genuinely I can talk to his mom, I can talk to his dad, I can talk to his sister about anything that's going on, and I don't have to worry about being judged, and I don't have to worry about them judging him, and they're going to just give us advice. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that. Now, I have a best friend who I literally tell everything to, and if I be like, I hate him, he get on my nerve, she'll be like, I can't believe that, sis, that's crazy. And then the next day when I be like, oh, guess what, he made me pancakes, she'd be like, oh, he's so cute, I love y'all, and I love her to death. Like,
friends that just ride the boat with you.
Exactly.
Don't try to steer the boat any kind of way. I learned that early on with one of my friends who would vent to me. I try to steer the boat the opposite way instead of just letting them, just supporting them, of letting them vent. And you know what that friend was, and she had her trial. It was college time, so she'll have trials of people she'll talk to, and then this nigga ain't shit, that nigga ain't shit. I will give up on him. How about that? And I was that friend of like, why am I giving you advice when you're not gonna take it? She wasn't trying to hear no advice. She just wanted to vent.
But that's the thing, like, we ask each other that, like, whenever we're just aggravated, it's like, okay, do you want advice or do you want to just talk? Like, do you want to just vent?
Yeah.
Like, please let me know so I can set my mind up correctly for how to respond.
Yeah, it's good to know where the conversation is going, or if it is a conversation, or if it's just an all ears thing, because you don't want to be wasting your breath on somebody who is not in the mood to be listening at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm turning like a little bit this way, just to make sure it's not picking me up. I know my voice is very soothing, but we don't need a double time like last time.
Listen to my soothing
I saw
voice.
the complaints. I heard, and I'm trying to make adjustments. I'm trying to do better, but yeah, I was definitely a ear friend for a very wide and long stretch between high school, definitely high school, all the way through midway point to college, and not fun because I would waste my breath a lot.
I was always a fixer friend. Like, if you come to me with a problem, I'm gonna try to fix it. And it wasn't until college that I stopped doing that, and I just kind of listened to my friends. And it's like, okay, I listen to their issues, and then I wait, and I'm just quiet. And one or two things will happen because I'm quiet. They'll be like, what should I do? And then it's like, oh, okay, now I can tell you what I think. Or they'll be like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to be like, okay. And I let it go because you didn't ask for my opinion. You didn't ask for advice. I get it. You wanted to get your feelings out. You felt like I was a safe space to get your feelings out. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say anything. But I always have an opinion. But I learned you can't always share it. Because apparently I'm a safe space for a lot of people for some reason. Which is fine. But even, like, strangers, I've told him multiple times, there have been random people that I will meet, like, the same day, and by the end of the, like, encounter, I've had, like, 5 people come out to me. And I'm like, okay, great for you.
You just have a trusting soul. Like, you know what? I just trust you. I met you 2 hours ago. I'm gay.
It's crazy.
I need you to know right now.
Like, they will tell me their whole life story, and it's like, I don't know, like, I might be gay. And then, like, by the end of it, they're like, thank you for talking to me. And I haven't even said 2 words. And I don't understand. I guess I just have a inviting face, which I don't get because I don't like to talk to people.
It's your spirit.
I don't like to talk to people. I am the most awkward person you will ever meet.
And they probably catch it like, she's not a talkative one, so maybe she'll listen when I tell her I'm gay. I had 6 orgies in this week alone.
Oh my God.
Oh, I feel disgusted with myself. And you don't judge them at all. But then you come home. Let me tell you what.
If you are a stranger and you have come out to me or whatever the case may be, my husband knows. He probably don't know who you are. He never met you, don't know what you look like. But he knows. I tell my husband just about everything.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie to y'all.
Facts.
Unless you explicitly be like, don't tell your husband. I'm not going to tell my husband if you ask me not to tell my husband. But if it's something petty, like, I'm going to tell my husband because.
I'll tell you what, my friends. It's
what?
The pillow talks is everything. Or whenever you get home, on the way from work talks, is like, get everything off your chest. But if it's some good tea, we can save it for later. But if it's like work stuff that's going to stress you out all over again, go ahead, vent before then. And then when the gossip comes, let's leave it for the pillow. What she told you? Girl.
It's so funny. And girls, ladies, women, I know y'all understand this. Like, you get so into a conversation with your husband, boyfriend, partner, whatever, to the point where, like, he responded, you be like, girl.
I hate that. I'm flattered that you just, like, that has happened to me many times between my 2 female friends. Where they just be like, girl, I mean.
My bad.
I'm like, man, what the hell? Because I'm the quote unquote gay best friend that's not gay. So it's like.
You are definitely not gay.
Definitely not gay. But it's like, we'll gossip like because I'm just. It's rare to have a really good guy friend to girl. So to the point where it's like, we could talk about anything. Girl, let's talk. And especially, again, getting earfuls of ups and downs that either I'm giving advice for or just listening to you just talk shit. Cool. What's another thing I wanted to tell? It was something else with the venting. I forgot. But yeah, what else about venting that you gotta be careful of?
Be careful how you word things as well. Because people interpret things very, very differently. So for example, I was upset with him about something back in July, and I didn't talk to him about it because I felt like it was just being brushed over. And I vented to my best friends about it. And after I did it, because I accept advice from my best friends. I know they love me. I know they have my best interest at heart. And after talking to them about it, I was like, okay, I probably said that wrong. Or I probably acted wrong. And hearing how they heard what I said versus what I meant, I was like, oh, crap, okay. So let me take it back for a second. And we talked about it. And one of my friends came over. She stayed asleep. Like, we were up until, like, 6 o'clock in the morning just talking. Loved it. That's my favorite thing to do with my friends. I love my friends so much. Y'all are going to hear me say that a lot because I genuinely love my friends to death. Like, oh, my God. They are the most amazing women. They're great. Like, they deserve everything in the world. Anyway, so after he came back from his trip, we talked about it, and me venting to my friends and having that safe space to be honest with them and me know that they love me enough to be honest with me, that tough love, like, is great. So you have to decide whether or not you have that and word it correctly to convey what you mean, not what you think you mean.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take a step back and be like, okay, what am I trying to, like, if I'm trying to say something and it's not matching up to my words, that can take a whole left. Like, it can go from, he aggravates me, he pisses me off, I don't want to be with him, and you really mean to say, like, he's aggravating and I don't want to be around him right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is different. Does that make sense?
Yes, it is.
Like, me saying I don't want to be
It
with
does.
him versus me not wanting to be around him, that's two different things. Like, I'm always going to want to be with him. I just don't want to be around him if I'm angry at him. But if I say that to my friend and that's not a good person to vent to, or if I say that to a family member, they're going to be like, you don't want to be with him, so why are you with him?
Mm-hmm. And it's just gonna put you in a box of like, why am I with this person? And questioning the whole relationship. You think it's okay to have the type of venting of two people who are totally opposite? So you have, of course, probably multiple people to vent to, but you think it's okay to have two opposite side coin venting, meaning I'm in a relationship, but I'm curious to hear the single person side of it, and
No.
you don't think that's okay?
No.
I think there's a healthy medium
No.
to that.
I disagree.
For that, yes. But okay, so I'm about to make a decision on my life that could be possibly criminal. And I have a friend who went to jail, and I have a friend who's Mr. Perfect. I have a clean slate. And I'm ready to fight it. Just ready to fight. I want advice. At that point, do you think it should be two conflicting vents of information and advice coming in to hear both sides of it?
I don't know. Because
I know it could be dangerous for the mind to go through two conflicting types of advice, but you never know what that other person might say. The person who's
get
been
that.
through it
I get
might
that.
give you that wrong advice, and the person who hasn't, because you want to know, like, okay, the person who has gone through a clean slate life, he probably could give you that. The other one who's been through the shits could give you the advice of like, you don't want to do that, my brother, because this, that.
So this is my thing. If I'm trying to decide between two different things, 9 out of 10, I'm leaning more towards another. It's rarely ever a 50-50. Mm-hmm. So the way I decide is whichever one I'm leaning towards more, I look for somebody that's the opposite. So if I'm like, I really, really shouldn't do this, and I know I shouldn't do this, and it's about a 60-40 or 60, that's right, 60-40.
Yep, that's the math.
So if I know I shouldn't do this and I'm about 60% sure I'm not going to do this, I'm going to seek out somebody I know that did this and be like, hey, what happened? Tell me. And 9 out of 10, it's not going to be good. And it's just going to reinforce what I personally already was leaning towards. And the only reason I think that's better than having the two is because if you go to the two, it can sway you or it can make you feel even more stuck. Because both situations, they're going to give you the pros and cons. Mm-hmm. So if the pros and cons for both are equal, like if you have three pros and 3 pros and 3 cons and 3 cons and it's equal, then you're stuck in the middle like, okay, this could go either way for me. And then you're going to end up reacting off of emotion instead of logic.
Yeah, true. I just think sometimes it's not healthy, but sometimes it's necessary to have the angel and devil on your shoulder just to kind of really understand the balance of the two. Like, okay, yeah, hearing it from the devil makes a lot of sense, but if I just kind of sprinkle in the angel part of it, yeah, that makes sense. Because you always want to hear what people have to say and how they're going to say it, so it can kind of shape your mind behind the right decision or any decision that you want to make. So I was wondering if you think that's...
I mean, that's fine if that's how you work. That's not how I work.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody. You got to figure out what works for you. I can't tell you what to do with your life. I don't know you. I mean, I might know you. Hey, but I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know how you want to progress in life. Like, if that's something that works for you, great, wonderful, fantastic. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. What about solo time? How you feel about that?
Solo time.
I know, I'm just jumping the gun right to it. There's no segue into it. I just want another thing that needs to be talked about whenever you just need your getaway.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but even if we did,
probably touched on it, but I don't think we got in depth.
So solo time is essentially time that you take for yourself away from your partner, to like reflect on yourself, do something that you enjoy, like your hobby alone, whatever the case may be. It's important to do that because losing your identity in a relationship is something serious. So there's some people that are like codependent in relationships. I think that's what you call it. Where it's like they cannot survive if they're not in a relationship. And I know a couple of people like that. I was friends with a couple of people like that. And it's unfortunate. I don't want to call it sad, but it sucks to see somebody that, you know, like they're happy and all of that, and then they get with somebody and it's like their entire identity becomes that relationship. And I'm not going to lie, in the beginning of our relationship, like, but we just had a lot of fun together, I'm not going to lie. But I spent a lot of my time with him. And because we spent a lot of time together, at some point he was like, hey, I want to do whatever it is alone. And I was like, what?
Okay,
Like, you don't want to spend time with me? Like, but this was also before, like, the love language and all of that. Like, we figured that out. So, like, reviewing that and now knowing, like, my love language is quality time, that was one of the reasons I was like, no! Like, I can just sit here, you can do whatever you got to do, but I still want to be around. But it's important for everybody to have solo time with themselves. Shut up.
No, I'm thinking about something I want to bring up.
It's important to have solo time because it helps you keep your identity. It also helps you to come up with things that you can talk about. So, like, for him, his solo time is, like, editing videos and what else you do? That's your main thing.
That's my main thing.
And video games.
Yeah,
but I sit and watch you with your video games.
I know, but it's, you know, it comes to a point where I'd be like, not. There was a point where I was just like, I mean, I'll have the video game. It wasn't in the living room, so it'll be in a separate room. So I'll just go and do that. But I was laughing at it just because I was thinking about the time where you felt some type of way when I said, I don't need you to have fun. I probably
that hurt my feelings.
I worded that wrong looking back on it, but like I had to explain to her, like, growing up with me and my sister, she would be in her room doing her own thing. I literally be in my own zone doing my own thing. So I never needed somebody to have fun. And I don't know how it was with her growing up and or whatnot, but I can literally create an imaginary world in my own head. And I don't want to get too deep about that because that could be something psychologically.
Say it.
Psychologically?
There you go.
Something psychologically wrong with me in terms of how imaginative I could get with my own world. But the game was an escape. Creating videos, watching YouTube for hours was an escape to where I wanted to create and edit. And it probably was unhealthy because, I mean, I'll be solo by myself for so long to the point where, like, I could do this for hours without being disturbed. And
I would literally be like, hey, it's been 4 hours. Come hang out with me.
And I immediately get annoyed because you just knocked me out of my zone. And because I didn't have a mental block or a mental stopping point, which is in a relationship, which is, you know, the core of this entire podcast, you got to find a healthy stopping point to your solo time because, hey, you don't exist. You're not the only one that exists in the household.
And we had to talk about that because
especially if you have kids.
That used to irritate me so much. Like, he would be like, hey, I'm going to the office, like, going to have some solo time, whatever. And whenever he says solo time, that is my signal, do not bother him. Like, this is his time, cool. But you're not about to spend 5-6 hours in there when we could be doing something together. Like, I get you want, like, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Like, cool, like, I'm going to give you your time. But you don't come out, you don't, like check in, like nothing. Like it been 4 hours. Like, are you almost done? Like,
I didn't know these questions coming. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna be done. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, leave me alone. And I immediately get annoyed because I didn't have the answers to those questions, and I just wanted to be left alone without a time limit. And because sometimes it will flow into like dinner, and dinner was my responsibility that night. Like, I was supposed to be cleaning or prepping or whatever. And I look and I'm like, and I just don't. I just hate getting knocked out of the zone. Like, if you call me while I'm editing, I get annoyed immediately. I probably don't even want to talk. She probably even felt that on the phone. She was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "Editing." So she would know, like, okay. And then she would be on the phone. Well, I'll just let you get back to.
Because he has an attitude, and it's like, how was I supposed to know you were editing? I'm calling you on my lunch break, like, just to talk, just to, I missed you, and you being dry. Fine, I don't miss you no more.
It hurts to feel that way so much, but it's like, once you in a zone, it's like, man, and again, it's not her fault, but yeah, have a healthy time of talking. So sometimes we'll talk for like a little bit, and then she'll let me go. Just want to let me know, hey, I'm on my break, this and this and that. So I'll let you finish your thing, and if I'm almost done, I'll be like, I'll call you right back. I'm just trying to finish this up, or I could do it while on the phone. But yeah, it might be different with kids. Right now, healthy solo time is like 2-3 hours. Yeah, 2-3
3
hours.
hours max.
3 hours
for
max.
me.
Right now, because I'm like not at work and stuff like that, like I probably get it done before you get home. So.
Yeah, like right now, since he's not like outside of the house, when I come home, you don't have any more solo time. You had solo time all day while I was at work for 8 hours. No, you're mine. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, so it's good to like at least figure that out amongst yourselves and express what that solo time is. Figure out like, okay, could you kind of fit into that time and make it quality time without it taking away from your identity of what you are? Because sometimes my solo time used to be just watching anime, and now she just watches anime with me. So now it's a quality time instead of solo time.
And his video games. He
Now,
used to play his video games in his office. We talked about it. He moved it in the living room, and I just watch and cheer him on. I'm on TikTok, and he be fighting people, and I'd be like, kick his ass, Jarrell.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning, I didn't like her being around me because I will be furious if the game doesn't go my way. And it's kind of embarrassing whenever you're displaying childlike behavior on a video game that makes you extremely mad to where you just lose your religion. But now that she is getting into the video game world, she is experiencing the anger that you get whenever things don't go your way, to where she's losing herself. So it feels good to know that, like, yeah, now you know what I've went through and why video games makes me so passionate. It just gets you whenever you're really into it. But yeah, it's the expressing your solo time, what you need, how much time you need is the best way to like understand each other.
But it's also like, tell them what you're doing. Like, it shouldn't be anything that's secretive.
Yeah.
So like, if he's like, hey, I'm going to edit, I'm going to play the game, I'm going whatever. Like, just tell him. Like, 9 out of 10. If he tells me he's going to edit and it's been 3 hours, at that 3 hour mark, I'm going to go knock and be like, hey, love, I know you still editing. I just wanted to remind you, like, you know, that you have this to do, we have this to do, we were supposed to do this, whatever the case may be. Do you need another 20, 30 minutes to wrap it up?
And let your solo time be actual solo time that you're saying that you're going to do. Don't say I'm going to do this and be on the phone with somebody and then it's like, you just wanted to get away from me. You could have got away from me. Fine, cool. Just say that. Don't let it be a sneaky thing. Don't let solo time just be what it is. So that way they know, like, okay, cool. I know this normally takes whatever time. Because if you go off the script of your solo time, then that means you're going to go off the script of whatever the time limit is supposed to be. Because I could say I'm going edit, and if one of my friends called me, I get on the phone with my friends, then guess what? I probably had 30 minutes of editing time, but man, me and my boys could talk for hours. And next thing you know, what you doing? Like, and I get annoyed because I was on the phone with my friend. Well, I thought you was gonna be doing this. Well, they called and
But it's not just about that. It's about holding yourself accountable to the time limit that you set. So if he said he wanted to edit for 2 hours and then he ended up staying on the phone with his friends for an hour and a half of that time, that's not my fault. Like, mentally, you told me 2 hours. So if we had something to do, or if I wanted to do something with you at that 2 hour mark, I'm like, hey, you ready? And if he'd be like, I want to edit for 2 more hours, I didn't get to do it. That's not my fault.
I didn't.
That's not my fault.
Well, I gotta get this editing done.
Well, you better figure out another time.
I'll catch you tomorrow.
Nope, you better figure out another time.
I can't wait to be able to like do all-nighters for editing. And I have to wake up the next morning for stuff. I can't wait. So I'm just. You said gross?
Yeah.
Man, I'm talking about like if you go to bed, I could stay up and like how it is now. Like if you go to bed now, I could just be like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna go edit. Or right now, I was trying to get my Hogwarts character up to par. But yeah, like,
I am not an all-nighter person at all.
I am a night owl. I'm not a
I'm
morning
early.
person.
If you tell me I could go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and get off before 2 or at 2, I will gladly show up at 5:45 with a smile on my face. But if I gotta work until 6, 7 o'clock at night, I will be grouchy.
If you tell me you got an interview tomorrow morning, like it's early morning or is it late morning? Like I need to know. It's at like 7:30. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, all right. I have to figure out how I'm gonna fall asleep for 10.
You have a hard time falling asleep early. This boy will go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning and wake up at like 9 and be okay. Tripping.
7 hours.
Can't do it.
You need 7 to 8 hours.
My bedtime is 10 o'clock. I have a select list of people that can call or text me after 10 and my phone will actually ring. If you are not in that list, my phone will not ring for you at all.
Yeah, so I do not disturb mode for that too. Like, don't disturb my sleep, especially if I actually get to sleep. Right now, I'm on a weird shift to where I have to like watch some YouTube to just fall asleep, or wherever I am, I'll be falling. It'd be so many times I fall asleep in the front.
I believe it.
Last night I fell asleep in the front.
I fell asleep in the front.
Like when you left to go back in the room.
Seriously.
I was playing and then like I was just like slouching the damn bean.
It's because bean is comfy.
And then like the new discovery for the new position I could be in the beanbag chair.
So for y'all that don't know, I have this giant beanbag chair. I don't know if y'all can see it back there. He got it for me for my birthday, maybe. It was some kind of gift. Best thing ever. Sit in that thing every single day. It is so comfortable. It's big enough for both of us to like lay on it and be comfortable. It's the greatest thing ever. And our godchildren love it.
Yeah. And now that she, whenever she go to bed, I'm like, all right. I scurry my ass all the way to that beanbag and I just sit, lay, play the game. And then sometimes I be head back snoring. And I probably wake myself up from the snoring.
That's the worst when you wake yourself up from snoring.
Or farting. But I think that's an old person thing. I don't know.
The farting.
Yeah.
I think the smell, if anything.
Nah, well, you wake up from it. I don't.
Yeah.
It'd be my own smell, so it's like, well.
Be killing me.
That'd be the funniest.
I'd be mad as hell.
Oh, bro. I'd be like, bro, like, it couldn't have been that bad.
And I air it out, and I'd be waking him up. Like, yeah, you wake up too. Aw.
Like, it's not that serious.
It is that serious.
You literally got the fan blowing in your face. All you gotta do is turn towards that,
No,
and that fan.
because it'd be under the cover. Especially if I'm facing him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. You walk into that one. You literally just set up camp right in.
It's subconsciously I turn to face you. I have to touch him. Like, whether it be my toe touching his leg or my hand touching it, I have to touch him. I don't know.
That was annoying at one point.
I know.
Especially if I be hot. Like, don't touch me. Get off of me.
And I wake up. Like, if he move, I wake up.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah, I be subconsciously moving. Like, I mean, I'm knocked out, but my body turned on his own to get comfortable. And hey, if that means you got mushed away, then you got mushed away. You lucky I can't get in my real position because
he has one position where it's like his elbow and his knee is out, and it's like I could tell that he's comfortable because he's snoring.
Straight barrier.
But I can't get comfortable around him to touch him, and it pisses me off.
It's literally just a straight. It's like the Heisman with the elbow.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
my God.
frustrating. Let's get back on topic. What were we talking about?
Oh, just solo time and all that good stuff. How you should communicate your time and make sure your time is of what you said it's going to be of that event.
Hold yourself accountable whenever you change what you're doing in that time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really healthy for you to do those type of things, because if not, you got miscommunication, and miscommunication always turns into an argument. But I think we could leave it right there.
Cool.
So, yeah, you always bring us home. Bring us home.
Oh, I thought you were doing it. This has been.
Well, you know I go into my spiel.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Realationshitz, where we talk about real shit in relationships. I am your wife.
I'm your husband.
And remember, it's always okay to agree to disagree.
But as long as you fix your problem with a nice, beautiful plate of sushi, it always fixes your problems. I promise you. Even if she don't like sushi.
Sushi's great.
You could fix your problems with sushi. Good night, everybody.